I want to get water. I want to drink the healthiest water. And I would go on the internet, and there's conflicting information everywhere. And the more you dig, like, you realize that everyone out here is looking for profit, right? Like the medical industry, everyone's trying to profit for themselves. And the information they give you is basically whatever will make them the most profit. And so after digging through all of this, I realized that, hey, um, we live in a world where nobody's really telling us the truth. And this was a big pain point for me. So then I was like, what can I do in my life to fix this? And one of them is uh, maybe bring in like really there's this thing called reverse osmosis water. So it's like these things where we have the technology and the ability to make things better for people, but we just don't use it. I don't know if that was very clear, but
Yeah,
Drifters
I
was
get what
born
you're
from
saying.
pain.
Definitely. Like with
Yeah.
cars, I'm sure,
Mhm.
that they make them break down so that you have to fix them and, different things like that. It's kind of the same thing, with NFTs. You have to buy so many to have this and then that. And then it comes down to like, oh, well, I've just spent all my money. What value am I getting from this NFT? What
Mhm.
value am I getting from this range of NFTs that I'm investing in? So yours really stood out to me, and I've been wanting to get you on this podcast for a long time. It's it's been a big thing to have you on here, and I thank you again.
Yeah. It's amazing to be on here and to have people like you who care about our vision. Like the, our project means nothing without the people. And initially when I started this, it was just me. Like I was making YouTube videos. I was renovating my house and talking about this dream. And there was like maybe like three, four people, that ended up watching those videos. And now it's like amazing to see that there's so many people in here. It means that, we passed the first filter, you know, after the successful launch of the 10K, um, like we passed the first filter and the doors open for us. Like this dream is very real now. Before, even when we launched the Genesis collection, it was still like on the fence of whether or not we can do it. But now it's like we have the community and we have the funding, so this dream is going to happen. And like the people in here, you're coming along for the ride. We're going to build this together.
Yeah, and you have brought a lot of people from Ethereum to take a second look at Elrond, and that has given Elrond a big boost in the amount of users that we have brought over. At the same time, it shows them that there is better technology out there that is being made, and they don't have to wait for upgrades onto a system that needs it, I guess, is how I would put it. So
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
every system needs upgrades, but when at the end of the day, Elrond has shown themselves as something that is uh, hasn't stopped and is inevitable in the marketplace. So
yeah. And Elrond builds like what how we build. Cardano. So I used to be a super. I used to invest heavily in Cardano. I put like pretty much my life savings in there. Uh, Basically, I fell into their trap of their marketing. Right? They marketed that they were going to be fast and everything, but they didn't really have anything. Whereas Elrond is the exact opposite. They're building like great tools. Like the Meyer app. They already have a working DEX. Everything is actually fast, and things are being traded now that take a couple seconds, and it actually takes only a couple cents. Um, and with Cardano, with their recent Sunday swap launch, their first DEX, like it's being backed up by 3 days for a transaction, and it's costing like $10. So,
yeah, I
in
was
my
a big
opinion,
fan.
like,
I was a big fan too. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was a huge fan of
mhm,
Cardano back in the day. I actually I sold a car, and I'm pretty sure that my phrases were in the back seat in an in an envelope that I stashed back there because I didn't think I was going to sell it. then I sold it out of haste, and then I look back and it's probably still sitting in there. And if I ever found the car, I probably could. It's not a lot, but I mean, it could be one day, but if they get everything together. But I mean, today, is a big day for Elrond. We have a lot that can be achieved, and a lot of space that can be filled in the system still, especially for marketplaces, new NFTs. With real utility. Like you guys are striving for the ultimate utility. And that's Nojin umbrella, I call it. That's what that is the big umbrella that holds everything together. It's like the glue, So you guys are doing some great stuff. I love your NFTs, your work. You've done some good work for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, the like right now the NFT itself, like the art itself, is something that we try to perfect to the best of our ability, because it's like a representation of our ability to execute. No matter how big your dream is, it really just comes down to every project's ability to execute. So we made sure that what we put out is a good representation of our skills in the future. When we are thinking about building a metaverse, when we're thinking about building the actual physical community. Like I want to show everyone that, hey, look, the team that we currently have, we executed this with a very minimal team and very limited funding. And now our team is only growing, we're only moving faster. But again, like the dream is also getting bigger. So.
Right. And with Elrond, the dream can be whatever you want it to be. And I try to tell a lot of people that are on other chains to just come over and check it out. And I think just because of, that's where the money is, that's where they want to stay. But I've always wanted to be where the money's going to be, not where it is right now. And so that's what I see with Elrond and their NFTs. I mean, we are still early. A lot of these NFTs, will be worth nothing. I try to tell that, to people, because we have to be looking for success and seek that out every day if we want to be successful for ourselves. And with what you guys are doing and every partner with Nojin, he's picked out really good partners. Your art stuck out to me. I wasn't able to get as many as I wanted to, just because it was kind of at the end of my train of, buying NFTs for the podcast. But, for myself, I bought a couple of higher end ones, and I really like them, and they'll be in my portfolio for a long time. So, my picture before this was one of my NFTs, so I really do like it.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I want to touch on the point of like the success of a blockchain. I think we were just, maybe this wasn't really touched. Maybe this was touched on. Let's just go through it. So like the success of a blockchain, like the reason why Cardano appealed to me. Okay, so the reason why Cardano appealed to me was because the founder wanted to bank people, the unbanked in Africa. At the end of the day, the like infrastructure level, layer one level for all blockchain, they're all solving very similar things. That you can get to a certain amount of TPS. You can get to maybe if it's fast enough and functional enough, like it's good enough usually. And eventually, like Elrond, Cardano, AVAX, all these coins all these blockchains, they will operate pretty much the same. And the competition is just going to be, increasing TPS by a little bit. But what really comes down to it is like what these solutions are being used for. So for Elrond, it's like, it's up to us. What if we really do build a whole entire community that's based on blockchain using Elrond? It really comes down to like what these technologies are used for. So it's just as much up to the builders on this chain to as the people who are building the chain. Yeah.
Right. Well, with Elrond, I definitely see an early Ethereum, like people coming to build. That sort of thing
Mm-hmm.
has been apparent when looking at Elrond and the start of it. I was in the start of it, like around 2019. I actually invested. I got involved in it, kind of just looking at it early, and then pulled the trigger once I started seeing that they were serious, because back then it was hard to even choose who was serious, to see who was serious or not, in building.
Mm-hmm.
So it was actually between like Zilliqa and Elrond. That was the two that I was actually looking at when I actually decided to invest. I put 2 years into just learning about blockchain before I wanted to even invest, just watching people lose their money. And now here I am,
Mm-hmm.
hosting this podcast with you. That's just a little about myself and how I got here. And so, like,
Mm-hmm.
looking at where we are now and all these drifters in here excited about your project, it's motivated me to keep doing what I'm doing to educate people about what you're doing. And with that, it empowers everybody, especially when you show your face and you get on here and you show your face. That keeps you accountable, and that's what I'm trying to achieve here on this podcast. And I that's that's GM NFT podcast, transparency. So glad to have you on
Yeah.
here.
I
You've answered a lot of questions that that I haven't even asked. Uh, and what's kind of the
Mhm.
future? I know you said metaverse and your future. What else are you kind of
Yep.
looking at in the near future, if you can say anything, or maybe mid to long term?
Yes. So let's just go for the general biggest vision first. So the biggest vision first is we want to use Web3 to create a physical place where it maximizes human wellness and living. We want a place that is pretty much, in our eyes right now, it's a utopia, and we're breaking it down into steps. Right, we're going the opposite way. We want this dream of creating this utopian. I don't like to call it utopian because it makes it seem kind of impossible, but we want to create this place that maximizes human wellness, health, um, and we're using NFT right now as a tool, right? So this is it's pretty much we're working backwards. We have a real utility for our NFTs, rather than people who create NFTs and then they get a bunch of funding and they don't know what to do with it, right? So right now, it's still pretty short term, so we can't really tell. But over the long term, I think like the ones that will survive are the ones that have real world utility in the future. So breaking down that big goal of uh, creating this community, we have two steps. Number one, the first step was the avatar stage. So without people in the community and without people being aligned, we can't have it. So this was the perfect use case for avatar NFTs. Right? I only got into avatar NFTs because I saw that, hey, this is the perfect solution to this problem that we have. And and like and right now it's been successful. So the first stage has been completed. We've gotten the people. It's become a beacon for people who think similarly as us. So number two, the stage two is we need to get enough funding to be able to build a physical community. Ideally, I would have wanted to jump straight to the physical community, but we need a lot of funding for that. So the next step would be the metaverse. We need to create a playable version like of our own metaverse that can bring people enough value and bring drifters enough value, the drifters company enough value to start building the physical world. I can't really touch too much like on the details of our metaverse. We're still building it out right now, and I want to have everything solidified before I come out with more information. Um, and I just want to touch up on this point, which is we aren't really communicating that as often. It seems like in our chat, like people want us to communicate more, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're really focused on building things out first silently, and then when we have an actual working product, we will market that. You know, it's been under a month since we launched, and we are moving very fast right now. Uh, but we can't just keep releasing, you know, like updates every single week on things that we're working on. But I promise you that we're working on things, and you will get information when things are being completed. We're trying to move as a real company, you know, where if an iPhone's released every year, they don't release to you every single week what they're working on. You know, they will come out with one like good marketing campaign every single time. That's how we choose to move forward. Don't let like the current NFT landscape make you feel, you know, the need to constantly need to get information. But of course, we have to work on our communication, and we'll communicate to the best of our abilities. Um, yeah, that was that point.
Well, and I do get where what you're saying, because I, even just me as someone on this podcast, I do have somebody else that is doing some of my information, and we get busy, and it's hard to even get in the Discord sometimes, just looking through all the projects, and then a lot of the stuff that is on Twitter that you have to go through. So it's like I had to get somebody else to get on board, and we're just busy trying to get everything for the podcast every other day, and that's still a lot. So just for two people, I know you guys probably have more than that working with you. So it's just to run something. I mean, we're not profit. We're not we don't profit off of anybody doing this podcast. We do take any art that I made goes to this podcast. But I mean, with this whole thing, with NFTs, it's kind of it's still in the dark yet with some of these projects, and with looking through them, it's still it gives me a headache. So I really thank you for coming on today and making yourself open to your people and giving us the information that you wanted to give us today. And I know you can't give anything big. I don't think anyone was expecting that, and I was not expecting that. I just wanted to get your word on your project and get you into the light on this podcast, so that we can get that on YouTube, get you guys on YouTube more, and get you some more views, because everyone wants to know about NFTs, and if they actually see the creator actually working with the people, that just shows the true light, of the, because we do have these pseudonyms. I mean, even some of our marketplaces are run by pseudonyms, so we have to be careful here as people investing our money, our precious e-gold, so to say. So thank you for your time today, and everyone, I thank you guys for joining this podcast. If you guys want to join our podcast, we do come up with information in the podcast, chats, and the announcements, and we do have giveaways every once in a while. We do let people know about the giveaways that we do see on Twitter when we do see good ones. So be watching for that, so you don't have to kind of go searching for them. And we also do have another interview this week, so watch out for that. And that will do it today, guys. You guys have a good rest of your day, and peace out.
See you. Thank you.
Thank you.